Next topic is equipment selection and cost. As we discussed in the very beginning of the series, a typical solar system consists of panels, inverters, racking, and balancer system, wires, connectors, disconnects, and so forth. The way the industry is shaped currently at year 2022, most of these systems are owned by separate companies, although there is a rapid consolidation happening. As the solar industry is growing and maturing, you see panel manufacturers acquiring battery companies or inverter companies, doing strategic deals with panel manufacturers and battery companies. I can foresee in the future that maybe one single brand of company will have all solutions under them, but that's not yet the case. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what panels are popular and quality, and what inverters, and also what is the price for these. So on the panel side, some well-known and quality panels that have been in the market for a decade plus, in certain cases close to 2 decades, are brands like REC, Hanwha Q-Cells, Canadian Solar, Jinko, Trina, and Solaria, SunPower, of course, and those are some of the better known panels. And there are probably a couple dozen other brands that are all high quality. Panels are not necessarily the most high-tech component in a solar system. Inverters are actually a lot more complicated and more higher tech. And some very well-known and established inverter brands are Enphase, SolarEdge, SMA, SunGrow. These are some of the better known inverter brands that have been in the market for decade plus in most cases. And then batteries. There's of course Tesla, but there are a dozen other battery brands that are equally competitive and high quality, like LG Chem, and Generac, and Simplify, and many others. Now, in terms of price, excluding the battery, for typical photovoltaic solar system in the US sells around, I would say, between $2.25 to $3.50, depending per watt. So a 6 kilowatt system, let's assume it was priced at $3 per watt, would cost you $18,000. Of course, then there is a 26% federal investment tax credit on that price, which means 26% of that $18,000, it's about a quarter of that, so let's call it $4,500, gets to be deducted from your annual federal tax obligation, which is a great deal. It's essentially a free cash coupon with the federal government that gives you $4,500 of credit for your federal taxes, almost like cash, if you're paying a ton of taxes. If you're not paying a ton of taxes because you're retired and you don't really have a ton of income, or for whatever other reason, then going solar with a lease, a third-party ownership might make sense, and we're going to talk about that later. But so this is basically the key information about equipment selection and cost. Most systems in the US, as we covered in earlier sections, are 6 to 8 kilowatts in size, and most pricing is between $2.25 to $3. On some really unique and high-end installations, the cost might go over $3.50. But if the size of the system is going over 8 kilowatt to 10, 15, 20 kilowatts for high-end homes, then the cost should also go down from $3 or $3.50 or $3 to $2.50 or closer to $2.25 as well. So those are just the basics on equipment selection and cost.